I was just thinking that everyone I know, it seems like they spend their money as fast as they possibly can. Like there's a race to throw their money away for the most useless reason. And I don't do that. I try to save money. I have a goal. I have to save $400. I always say 3, but it's actually 4. Because it's actually like 380. Which is closer to 4, so I might as well say 4. Because I'm probably going to have to buy something else anyways, you know. But everyone I know, they spend their money as quick as they possibly can. And so I see that, and it makes me depressed and sad. That's why a lot of times I'm depressed and sad. Another thing that makes me depressed and sad is Dark Lotus. For some reason, it's like hair. It's like in my mouth. Anyways, I forgot what I was going to say. I guess the hair was too much of a distraction. Oh yeah, but Dark Lotus, yeah, it makes me sad. I don't know why I listen to it. I just assumed because I'm a brain-dead lemming like everyone else, but by listening to it, it kind of made me realize that I was a brain-dead lemonade stand for listening to that, and but I really I don't work because I realize I don't spend money like other people do. Like in my last video I was saying I was going to buy a garage for $3,000, and that'll basically last me the rest of my life, and I'll have a lot of fun for the rest of my life, and it's not going to cost me a whole lot of money. And if I had more money, I would use it even more wisely and probably buy a bigger garage. So I don't have a job. I don't make any money. And if money just falls out of the sky for me, I put it to really fucking good use. Like my rent costs me $50 a year. I don't need a bunch of stupid money. Do you understand that? I'm rich in this thing called a brain. And this brain gives me the power to know how to use things wisely. I watch my friends, my family, my loved ones go to work and pay their bills and everything else, and it's mindless and dumb. They think they're doing something good. So many people that I know think that they're good because they have a job, when I say otherwise. I say, I don't feel that way. Maybe you think you ride a high horse because you go to work every day. In fact, it depresses me to see you go and waste your life every fucking day to make this money, and as soon as you get that money, you spend it on nothing. Nothing. Now, the bills and the stuff, I do consider that something, yeah. So I guess they're not all that bad. They spend their money on the bills. But then if they buy anything else after that, it's like a waste of money. I don't think everybody does that, but everybody that I know does. So I don't really know anybody that is not stupid with their money. Now, I do see very expensive cars, and I think, okay, that's an abundance of wealth. When you have an abundance of wealth, you can buy a Lamborghini and it's nothing to you. You can waste your money. So at that point, I'm thinking, that's what rich means, is abundance, where you can spend and spend and spend, and you don't run out. And you can buy the dumbest thing that you want, like a Lamborghini. I used to like Lamborghinis until I found out if they broke, they're basically worthless. Like, I was just kind of interested in what my taxes do. Like, when I pay taxes mindlessly, when I mindlessly pay my taxes, what is that going to? That's basically going to make more prisons, to make more laws, to make more stringent bullshit that you have to follow, to make a red tape around you, to put a $5,000 street light everywhere. And it's like you can just drive down the road and you're like light, 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 lights. And it's so bright. These lights are so bright. These street lights are so bright. You can see in the dark on cloudy days. It's weird. So there could be heavy, cloudy, overcast. And all those lights hit that cloud and reflect back. And you can see perfectly in the middle of the dark. A lot of times, I go walking in the woods. At any time. Day, night, whenever. It's a free world. I like that feeling. Sometimes when I'm out at 3 in the morning, just walking around, enjoying the silence of the zombie apocalypse, how it's motionless and no one's moving. Everyone's asleep at 3 in the morning. Even the crackheads and the meth heads somehow fall asleep at 3 in the morning. They get bored. And through boredness, they retire for the night. And that's where I'm like, oh my God, I have free roam of this planet as long as these zombies are sleeping. But no, wait, Mr. Police Officer sees me. I'm the only person out. So he wants to harass me. And so my money goes to him to harass me when I'm enjoying my day outside, not doing anything. But if I call the police, if I'm getting assaulted by a crackhead at 3 in the morning, and I call the police, they're nowhere to be found. And when they show up, they beat everybody up. And take everybody to jail. Or whatever. You know. And it's like, why do I pay tax? Why do they harass me when I'm not doing anything? Why do they bother me? Like if I take a walk a mile from my house and I get stopped 3 different times at 3 in the morning. I'm like, yeah, it's 3 in the morning, I get this, but I'm not committing any crime. Has anybody called you and said, oh, there's this guy in a white shirt, he's committing crimes? No. Why are you bothering me? And they're like, okay, you can go now. And then they pull me over again, halfway home. It's like, it's only a mile away from my home. They pulled me over, not not pulled me over, they stopped me because I was walking. And so they stopped me like 4 or 5 times. And sometimes it doesn't have to be 3 in the morning. It could be 10 o'clock at night. It could be any time. And I can't stand it. It's harassment. It's bothersome. It's not even about the cops. It's just everybody's brain dead. I don't even walk around anymore because I was walking down the sidewalk one day when a black lady ran me over. And I was going to sue her, but I stood up and I started feeling myself, and I'm like, okay, she just ran me over. Am I okay? And I'm feeling myself, and she's like, I'm calling the ambulance right now. Don't worry, just sit there. And I'm like, I don't feel hurt at all. I don't feel anything. And she's like, no, it's okay. We'll call the ambulance and the police, and my insurance will pay for this. And she was ready to pay for running me over. And I said, I feel fine. I don't feel hurt. Even though you ran me over and it was fucked up, I feel fine. And she's like, it was a complete accident. I thought that was a driveway. She's like, I didn't see you because there was a pole there, and I guess the pole, like, you were walking by it and it blocked you, and then I ran you over. And I'm like, I don't know, it was really fucked up. You did run me over. You stopped. I said, I probably would sue you and take some money, but I said, I'm not hurt at all, and it was fucked up. Like, she hit me, and I went over the top of her car, and I spun all around on it, and she hit me, and I, like, slid over the hood, then up the windshield, on top of the car. I slid off the top, down the back window, and was spinning in circles on her trunk, and was just spinning and spinning and spinning, and I'm banging as I'm spinning, and I'm like trying to stop, and I'm like, and I'm like banging on her car. And she did have some dings in her car, on the hood where I hit, on top where I was like sliding, and then down on the hood, and then where I was like on my ass spinning, and I'm going like this, like and then when she stopped, I kind of slid back up on the back windshield a little bit, and I got down, and I'm like, okay, that was fucked. And I thought, I'm gonna sue this lady. And then I thought, well, I don't feel hurt. I don't feel right suing somebody unless I'm even the slightest bit hurt. And I'm like, if I'm hurt and I'm feeling myself, and I'm like, man, if I'm hurt, and she's like, I'll pay. She's like, I'll pay. It's okay. And I'm like, well, let me see. If I feel hurt, I'm taking your shit. And I'm like, I don't feel hurt, but it did hurt. It hurt at the impact, right? And it was scary and everything. So I've been hit more than once. Like, that's why I don't walk around or do a lot of things. I'm afraid of getting hit. I'm afraid of cars and traffic. Now, I'll still go. I can still walk, and I don't care. But honestly, it's like touching I always call it touching the electric fence. Now, it's like I found out, I think by understanding some of this shit, I found out that I have a problem that involves like the electric fence type theory. It's where normal people will touch an electric fence and they know not to touch it, but eventually they forget and will touch it very quickly, like within a day. But elephants never forget. And if you put an elephant in an electric fence, it will touch that electric fence once every day. There's this thing called learned helplessness, where if you put dogs in an electric fence, but you make a way for them to get out, like they have to crawl through a tunnel, jump over some hoops, roll over 5 times, and they can get out. And eventually they'll figure that out and get out. So they have a learned non-helplessness, that they know they can help themselves to get out. But if you take a dog and you put it in an electric fence and it learns there's no way out and there is nothing it can do to get out, then you take those learned helplessness dogs and put them in the other pen with the other dogs that don't have learned helplessness, that know there's a way out. The dogs that are learned helplessness, they won't even try to escape. But the dogs that knew that there was a way to escape, they would always look for it and find it. But the dogs that suffered from learned helplessness would never leave. And so I've learned that my problem is the learned helplessness that you can't do. You live in a prison planet full of zombies. It is the electric fence. You can touch it, it zaps you, it hurts you. There's nothing you can do about it, in a way. Even though if there is, if there isn't, even if there is a way, there's not. Like, people are so lobotomized, brain dead, stupid. Do you understand that? Like, why is this so hard for people to get? Like, people really are zombies. They're really lobotomized, brain dead zombies. They're zombies. People are sick, disgusting, foul creatures. They spend their money on the mindless, most dumbest shit ever fucking possibly imagined in history, and they have to go to work to pay for that stuff. I don't need any of that stuff. Why do I have to waste my time, my energy, going to work to do things I am not interested in doing at all? Could you possibly, with your brain dead, lobotomized, Swiss cheese, mad cow style brain, can you fucking try to explain that to me? How you go to work every day and ride some fucking high horse and think you're better than everyone else. You're above human being, because human beings should be slaves and have to pay for every fucking thing. Like, there's no birds that eat from the tree for free, from the fruits of life. No. I'm blind to the birds and the bees and all that shit. How they work, but they work in a different way. Nothing's paying them. Their reward is different. You only simply have reward-based operant conditioning training. That's all the fuck you are, dude. You are an operant conditioned, brain-dead, lobotomized fucking slave. What the fuck? Why couldn't I do that? Yeah, is that insulting you? Are you mad at me because I told you the truth? Are you fucking mad at me because I told you exactly what you are, and instead of fixing it and admitting that you're bad, you would just attack the messenger, the person that told you the truth, that you're a fucking brain-dead zombie? I'm not doing it to insult you. I'm doing it out of a tough love. Wake the fuck up, you brain-dead fucking bitch. Are you fucking mad, bro? Are you gonna come and tell me, oh no, I can't say whatever I want? You know what? Fuck you. Go and be a lemming zombie and live in a prison planet full of stupid and see where the fuck it gets you, because I guarantee you, you ain't gonna get what you think you're gonna get. You ain't gonna be as happy as you think you are. You might live in an ignorant bliss, but I guarantee you, your bubble will pop one day, motherfucker, and you ain't gonna fucking like it. My bubble's already popped. So there ain't no bubble left to pop. You're the one that lives in a fucking bubble head. You're a bubble head. You live in your own fucking fantasy land. I don't live in a fantasy land. My fantasy land is gone. I live in a place called reality where you're a fucking zombie. That's fucking reality, dude. And will you wake up and try? No, you're going to go to work. You're going to be a lemming tomorrow. Are you going to not be a lemming? No, that's how you love life. You love being a lemming, a brain dead, compartmentalized, indoctrinated, like a zombie cult. I was watching this video where this guy just walks around filming everything, and how his videos are basically about him getting attacked, and all he does is, and it's like, what if I put a camera in my eye and recorded everything I seen? I guess people wouldn't care, because if they don't see a camera, they don't notice. So you know what I did? I bought some spy cams that I bring with me everywhere I go. And when people get recorded, they don't know that I'm doing it. And it's not against the law, because I don't do fucked up shit. I'm not a fucking pervert. I get off by not being fucked up. By not being a zombie. I impress myself by not being as dumb as you. Like, I like it when I chew with my mouth closed. I feel a little more civilized. But I noticed zombies have no upper lip. They think that's a sign of intelligence, the no upper lip. And then when they eat with no upper lip. They go. And I remember when I was 5 years old, they said, chew with your mouth closed. So I went. Watch people eat sometime. Tell me that they don't do that. Please, a pretty please with cherries on top. Cleft palate is actually hereditary. It is called eugenics. Eugenics, when you dumb people down, when you breed them to de-evolve, or if you make sure people with cleft palate are having plenty of babies, and then those babies have babies, and then you have babies with those babies, and then your babies are born without upper lips as a part of like a eugenics dumbing down process. So you go and you have kids with your zombie people with no upper lips, and see where the fuck it gets you, dude. Because I guarantee you, I'm gonna laugh when I see you trying to raise a bunch of fucking zombie kids. I'm smart enough to know not to fucking do that, dude. Now, I could raise some kids, yeah. But I'm not trying to fucking de-evolve here, you know? It's called evolution. Not de-evolution. Not dis-eugenics. So that's why, like, a lot of times if I get with a woman, my subconscious is screaming at me like, you're not supposed to de-evolve. You're supposed to evolve. Go find a better bitch, one with a brain. And I'm like, no, fuck you, watch this. And then my subconscious is like, fuck you. And then so when I don't have kids with those fucking people, I'm happy. When I'm smart enough to use a condom and pull out, that's something a brain-dead zombie can't do. Brain-dead zombies don't wear condoms. They think they're geniuses if they don't. Like Joe Rogan said, they're like, look at how many baby I make. I just make 15 baby. How many you make? 30? Well, I need to catch up. I make 10 more baby. And it's like, I don't have any. I don't look for no women because no women are looking for me. Is that cognitive dissonance? No. Yes. That's the funny thing about cognitive dissonance, and can be explained in many ways. Like, one way I really liked is, it's like, why do you go to work? Because of cognitive dissonance. Why do you spend your money on stupid bullshit? Because of cognitive dissonance. Why are you a zombie? Because of cognitive dissonance. What makes people feel safe living in this zombie apocalypse? They feel very safe. Ignorance is like a safety net for them. And they're afraid of intelligence. They're afraid of knowing anything. So it's a false sense of security. You suffer from a false sense of security. What makes you feel so safe? That fascinates me. And I think it's because I know something is wrong there, and I just don't know what. I can't quite put my finger on it yet. But wait, I have. It's called a false sense of security. You don't know. Like you could break this shit down to people, and they don't know. Like, they think you're just going blah, 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 blah. They don't understand that the words that you say have meaning on your everyday life. They're too stupid to reconcile the intelligence there. What makes you feel so safe? You do. I know you do. You're like, I'm so safe. I do everything I'm told. I'm a lemming. I have no upper lip. I live in ignorance. My life is great. I have no upper lip. I'm a brain-dead zombie. That's a good look right there. I really think that's what they look like. Like the big, fat, bitch women. They look like that. Like the other day, I was walking down the road, and somebody's like, "Get out of here!" And I look over, and it's this like Janet Napolitano dish eugenic style looking zombie, and she's going like this, like, and she's like, "Get out of here!" And I'm like, I just felt like saying, "Are you smiling, lady?" like, get out of here. And I felt like looking at her and saying, "Are you smiling or just squinching your face?" But I looked at her and seen that look, and I said, oh my God, it's a zombie. Oh God. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting out of here. I was like, I looked at her and said, okay. And I was like, but, like, what is up with women, dude? Women are so fucked up. Nobody ever talks about it. Like, women just talk about men, and no one has the balls or the audacity to just speak a fucking word about women. Like, women are the holy gospel of truth. Lay down and worship them, and that's why they control society, and a society controlled by women is one doomed. And that's why women are the most brainwashed. That's why women wear makeup. That's why they're totally fucking retarded, brain dead, lobotomized, stupid. They put bisphenol A in all the fucking food. Men are desensitized. Women are sensitized. They're overly sensitized, which just destroys them. And then men are nummified. Women are heavily sensified. And so to me it seems like women have to really hide that. They have to hide the fact that they're heavily sensitive, but not like, that's the thing, they have no feelings. Women are very cold-hearted creatures, but their sense is more, when men are dumbed down, or their senses are dumbed down, like they circumcise men, and it makes their penises numb and smaller. They cut half of their penis off, which makes it numb. Also, the hood protects your penis from dry air, and the dry air kills all the nerves. So you desensitize a man, and he is not interested in sex at all. And even if he is, he's not really feeling anything at all. It's like he's wearing a condom. You give a desensitized man a condom, and he's absolutely not feeling anything at all, period. A circumcised man with a condom on would still feel something, okay, because there's a lot of fucking nerves there. And if you ever look at a circumcised cock and a non-circumcised cock, a non-circumcised cock is very shiny. It has a sheen to it. An uncircumcised cock looks very dry and fucked up. And you can tell all the little nerve endings are blown and shot, and they're gone. And the skin is dead, practically. Not all the time, but in its own way. You would have to kind of know, you would have to have, like, both of them side by side to see one shiny and one's dull. And even though it looks normal, that dullness is no feeling. So women are more sensitized. Instead of being circumcised, their vaginas are made more sensitive. So a circumcised man is going to go with an uncircumcised woman like clockwork, like a key in a fucking slot that was made for it. And so to keep population down, if they can keep men from not wanting to reproduce, but then they have some men that are overly, they want to have sex way too much, and that's because they're uncircumcised. They know the feeling. It feels good. And so the women are like that. The women are dying to have sex. But you take an uncircumcised man and put it with a woman that's dying for it, he's going to be confused. He's going to come from a place he don't understand, and it's like that relationship's not going to work out. You have a sensitized woman with a desensitized man, it's not going to work out. And then as soon as that woman meets a circumcised man, they're already going to be on a higher connection, that they want that connection even more. The male had his connection cut off. There's no connection there. You don't know. That's the thing. It's like being born into a prison planet. You don't even know. You were circumcised the day you were born. You don't even know what it's like to have a regular penis. And when you're born, you don't have a hood yet. You don't have a hood yet. You have a penis, and that's it. So they're cutting off what would be in future time would be your hood. So they're basically just cutting your dick, parts of it off that aren't even your hood yet, or whatever, because you don't make a hood until you're at least 10 years old. And then your body, because when you're born, you're still like, being who you are. Your brain is soft and everything, and so you come out the day you're born, and your penis is not altogether formed yet. So they start cutting pieces of it off, and it's like, they're like, okay, here's your penis. We're gonna cut it down to that. And then so they're like, this is average size. They're like, 5 or 6 inches is average after circumcision. Because we cut half of your skin off. It's like, basically, if I went like this, it's like, I'm shortening everything. I'm shortening my it's like my face is normal. Now my face is really squinched and tight, and that's what they do. They tighten it down and squinch it down so that now it can't grow like it's supposed to. And then you wonder why. You're like, why am I fucked up? I know somehow I'm fucked up. Like aliens abducted me and just sliced parts of me off. And then they come to find out, no, that's called circumcision. And you're like, oh, I know I'm fucked up for sure. Yeah. They say people that suffer from depression could suffer for a lot of reasons. They could be sexually mutilated. And so when I went and seen somebody for depression once, they sat down and they told me, they said, have you ever been circumcised? And I said, yeah. And they said, well, it's been recently discovered that if you are sexually mutilated, it will give you depression for the rest of your life. That somehow your body knows it, and you will be depressed for the rest of your life. And I said, you know what? I feel sexually mutilated. I really do. I said, I remember when I was 10 years old, and I was looking at myself, and I said, I feel mutilated. I see the stitch marks. I see the cut patterns. Aliens did this to me. I used to think aliens did it, because I never would have imagined the day I was born they would have done something like that. I still have a penis, but it's a mutilated one. It looks normal for a circumcised one, but probably not perfect. Because I remember I was sitting there, and I was like, I can't orgasm. I wish I could orgasm. And then the wish brought it to happen that I could have an orgasm. And I could feel where the nerve endings regrow enough. It was my wish that made the nerve endings regrow so I could at least even have an orgasm. And so when they cut all that off, they're cutting off your G-spot, your orgasm, your sensory. They're cutting out your orgasm, your G-spot. They cut your G-spot all the way out. That's actually what circumcision means. Is when they do it to women, they cut out their clitoris, which is their G-spot. That's where they orgasm. A woman can only feel the first 3 inches of a man. That's why they like fatter dicks. They don't like longer dicks. Longer dicks happen to be fatter. If you had a 3-inch, or if you had a 4-inch fat cock, you're all good to go. Just make sure you get all of it in there, so they can feel the full feel. you're going to take all of this 4-inch cock. So I didn't know that. Do women tell me that they only feel the first 3 inches of a man? No, they don't say shit. They don't say nothing. They don't care. Like, women are lobotomized, brain dead, stupid. And if you're uncircumcised, you might actually feel more connection to them than someone like me would, because it's like I had to regrow my orgasm, basically. Like, I'll notice on a circumcised person that it's just watching porn or something, you know, and it's like you just watch like normal porn or something. It's a guy fucking a bitch. You shouldn't really watch porn. But I'll notice, like, different things they'll say, the different looks of it, how that hood goes over it, and then as it grows it kind of like stretches it out. And since I don't really know, but I'll notice like there'll be a vein underneath the skin there, and you'll see like a vein, and then how that's all part of it. And then I'll like look at me and say like, wow, like they changed the whole appearance, and the veins, it looks like they cut all the veins out, or like they did something, like they just like cut like a whole bunch off or something, I don't know. And I think, like, God, like, you know, I am sexually mutilated, dude. Like whatever normal penis that I had, like they just fucking mutilated the motherfucker. And now it looks normal to people. Like, oh, it's sexy, it looks normal, it's very clean looking and small, and nobody wants nothing to do with it. But I guarantee you, if it was uncircumcised, I would probably have a lot more women interested in it, because it'd be very natural and sensitive, and there'd be a lot more fun stimulation happening, which you don't get with a numb dick. And so they're not having much fun with me, I'm not having much fun with them, and it sucks. They stripped me of my essence the second I was born, and they convinced my lemming mother that it was the best thing. So yeah, it's not good to be a lemming. Or no, it's good to be a lemming. Cut your kid's penis off. Yes. You know what we should do? We should have people neutered when they're born. We should be like, hey, your balls are dirty, and they're big, dirty, smelly sacks. We should just cut them off. No, because that's the family jewels, right? So we can't convince people to cut their balls off the second they're born. They instinctually kind of know better. So what could we do to fuck with their junk to make it so they won't reproduce, but they'll buy it? Cut their hood off. makes perfect sense. Oh, it looks cleaner and better. And, oh, it's so good. Yeah. And then you convince the mother, which doesn't know a damn thing about penises, to cut her baby's penis. I'm not mad at my mom. And if I am, it's just that she's a useful idiot lemming, which I'm not really mad at her about. That's indoctrination. I'm mad at the indoctrination, the brainwashing, the mind manipulation that convinced her that it's better for her son to be cut than uncut. Because I always knew, when I was 10 years old, I used to think I was abducted by aliens. I was really into aliens because I thought they abducted me. And I used to look at myself and say, aliens abducted me and they took parts of me. And that's what I always thought. Because I never would have imagined that the second you were born, they would cut pieces of you off. 50% of your penis, they would cut it off. 50% of your penis. The G-spot, the orgasm place. If a doctor came to me and said, you have cancer in your dick, we got to cut it off, I would go, oh my fucking God, you got to save some of it. Or something. Or, you know what, fuck it, I'll just die. And then to say, well, no, you know what, the second you were born, we just chopped it off. It's like, what kind of sick and disgusting fucking world do we live in where they chop babies' dicks off and call it circumcision? They cut the G-spot of a man off. People act like I don't know my own fucking penis or something. And what it should look like. And I'm not even mad about that. That's just the audacity of this planet. It's not even that big of a deal to me. Because the way I look at it, I regrew some of it when I was 10. When I wished to have an orgasm, some of it regrew, and now at least I can have an orgasm, so it's not even really that bad. The president is prejudiced against you and me. He takes half our money and he chills tax-free. And if he asks me, that's another slap in the face. He slaps us in the face because he takes our money and he lives tax-free. When I see zombies, I don't want to stop them. I encourage their behavior. I understand the Illuminati, and sometimes I feel like I want to join them and fight them all at the same time, because it makes sense what they do. If they're practicing dyseugenics, dumbing people down, it makes sense. Like, I feel like I suffer from the bystander effect, where I know people are zombies and I want to stop it, but at the same time I know that, like, you're not going to stop it, you don't care, so I kind of like watching people suffer in their own misery that they don't even know that they're suffering in, because I think, I'm immune to it. I know what it is and what to watch out for. So as long as it's not hurting me, I don't really care. I kind of like zombies. I kind of do. And even though I hate their fucking guts, I kind of like watching them hurt each other. Like, if your baby's born and it's circumcised, I'll kind of just laugh at you, you know, or just anything. If you give your kids a vaccine, I'm just going to laugh at you. I don't want to wake you up. I don't want to put you to sleep. If you talk to me, maybe I'll wake you up, maybe not. Maybe you can never wake up. If the truth was slapping you in the fucking face, you wouldn't get it. So why does it matter? I could wake you up. I could put you to sleep. Why does it matter either way? Let's just watch and see what they do. It's like watching a pack of majestic deers. What are they going to do? Are they going to jump over the fence? Are they going to walk over the stream and drink? I don't know. I'm enjoying watching them. Like a pack of ravaged wolves, people are fucking lemmings. And I like, why expose the Illuminati? I want them to fuck you up. I just don't want them to fuck me up. If I'm smart enough to save myself, that's all that ever matters. Is worrying about myself, because that's the only thing I can worry about. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much I care about you. The only thing that truly matters is my life, you know? And I'm sure you feel the same way. So when I see zombies coming after you, I'm not going to warn you. Even though if I did, maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Either way, I don't really care. Because I could tell you, you wouldn't listen. If I don't tell you, you won't listen. Either way, you seem fucked. The Illuminati hide in plain view. And you're too stupid to see it. So why show you something when you're incapable of seeing it? You are deaf, dumb, and blind. I could tell you the truth. It falls upon deaf ears. And then you call me crazy. Good. Get fucked by the Illuminati. See how much I give a shit. It's like some guy was like fucking with me. And I just smile and laugh. And that's when I smile and laugh, is when they're fucking with me. Because I'm like, you can't fuck with me. But I'm laughing because you're going to leave. You didn't do shit to me. But you're going to leave and go fuck with everyone else. And I'm not going to stop you. In fact, I encourage your behavior and shake your hand. Go fuck with them over there. Because you ain't fucking with me. And that's exactly what they do. Is they get tired of me because they can't do shit. So then they go fuck with you. And push every fucking button you got. And I sit there and go, you can't handle it. But I beg them to come push my buttons. And so they don't. They know better. They know I just feed off that shit. You don't feed the trolls. You starve them to death. And that's what they're doing. They just starve me to death. That's why I don't get any subs or views or nothing. And I say good. Because when they're starving me, they're getting you. So I'm happy right now. Because they don't do shit to me. Because they know I'm above it all, dude. So you know what? They're not here bothering me. They're bothering you. And I encourage that type of behavior. Don't bother me. Go bother them. They like it. They'll give you a response. I'm numb. I don't have any response. And they know that. And so they leave me the fuck alone and go and bother your sensitive ass. Huh? 369. Damn, she's fine. Let's freaking shake it to me one more time. I'm getting low. I get low, get low, get low. No, that's not the song. That's the wrong song. Why, she's talking to me like I'm dumb. I should've known. I should've left that girl alone. But now I'm stuck with her. Wah, 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 wah. You know. Let's see what kind of, The email says you can get an AR-15 lower receiver for $40. Factory direct. From the people that make it. You know, people resell those for about $100. Fuck, you see them for all kinds of different prices. But the normal is about $100. So how about factory direct for $40? People are so fucking dumb. It's like they don't understand that during a depression, they usually start a war. And they start the war to fund the arms market. There's a lot of money in death and bombs and guns and shit. So if they're not really going to war right now, they probably need to sell guns and ammo and bombs and weapons of mass destruction. So if they create a false scare of guns and they get everybody that never had a gun before to now buy an AR-15, they're basically making a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then not only that, you're buying something that is meant to kill people, and you're spending all this money on it. when they know, like, it's like they know you're lobotomized. It's like they know you're lobotomized. They know you're a zombie. They know it. A zombie might be capable of saying no and getting pissed and then doing something about it. They know you're incapable of that. You're incapable of saying, I don't like that, I'm going to do something about that. They know you're a zombie. A zombie. They know you're brain dead. They know you're brain dead. Sure, you exist, and you stand there, and you're like, ooh, I like the government, and that you're incapable of saying that you dislike one little fucking thing about it, and then saying, I'm not going to tolerate that. I will stand up and fight that. They know you don't have the ability to stand up and fight anything, that you are just submissive, cowardly, lemming zombie. Brain dead. And it's like, oh my God, could you imagine if we lived in a world full of brain dead zombies, that we were there right now, the very person standing next to you is lobotomized. They're gone. There's no one home. Sure, they can stand there and they can talk and they can say, oh yes, sure, whatever. There's still no one home. There's no one home. There's no one home. There's no one home. Sure, they're there. They exist. They can walk. They can talk. No one's home, though. The only thing there is a mindless puppet that regurgitates everything on command that was asserted into their brain. Do you understand? Is this hard for you to compute? Sure, you may not agree with it. It doesn't matter if you agree with it. The world is round. And no matter how much you want to believe it, and if you get 1 million people to believe it, I mean, that's why I didn't like the self-help cassettes that I had. Because the lady kept saying, as long as you believe it, that makes it true. If you believe the world is flat, that makes it true. And I said, that's not self-help. That's brainwashing. So the woman, that woman in that self-help thing is just a regurgitator. She's a regurgitator. She regurgitates and asserts people in the regurgitation. So many people will tell me, I got it wrong, and then they start regurgitating, and I'm like, oh, you're one of them. You're a regurgitator where you have been asserted, you've been told what to think, and then asserted that that's the proper way to think. You've been asserted in your assumptions, and the assumptions were I don't know. And suggestions. The suggestions became the subvert. No. The suggestions are the assumptions that turn into a program or whatever, like programming. And so then you just regurgitate, which is called social manipulation. So a lot of people, they'll come to me and they say, you got it all wrong. And then they start telling me the regurgitation. And I'm like, oh my God, you're a regurgitator. You think I don't know what you just said. Everybody says the same fucking thing that you said. That doesn't make it any true. I know what you just said because every mindless lemming that comes across says the same thing, and they think that's the truth, is the regurgitation. The regurgitation is the truth. They're like, you have it all wrong. Let me tell you how it is. They're like, regurgitate, and I'm like, wait a minute, just stop right there. I know everything you're going to say ever. You're not telling me something new. You're not telling me, hey, I have it wrong, and here's how you have it right. Here's your regurgitation. I'm like, no. I know very well your regurgitation, and I'm against that. Do you understand that? Can you comprehend that? You think you comprehend a regurgitation. Can you see that I'm telling you that I don't agree with what you say? Can you compute that? Can you say, okay, this person knows what I'm saying but doesn't agree with it? They don't not know what the regurgitation is, what I'm saying. They don't know. It's not that they don't know what I'm saying. It's that they know it and they don't believe it, and they have the very opposite opinion of that. Can you compute that? They're like, no, they can't understand. That goes beyond them. They're like, wait, you're not brainwashed? This does not compute. It's like, actually, the funniest thing you can do to a lemming, since they're like robots, even State of Mind said that humans are robots and they'll be replaced with robots. The funniest thing you can do to a zombie is give them a paradox. Because they're very lemming-like. You give them a paradox, and they're like computers. Like their brains kind of like shut down for a minute. They really do. Try it out sometime. Give people a paradox. And that's exactly what you would do to a computer to confuse the computer. They're just simply computers. And every time I give somebody a paradox, I notice that their brains crack a little bit. It's like telling Rain Man a joke. He don't get jokes. He's going to think of it as a paradox. So to fuck with Rain Man, you tell him a joke. To fuck with a zombie, you give him a paradox. And it doesn't necessarily always work. Like reverse psychology, it doesn't always work on them. It works in a certain way with an assertness. Like, it's a regurgitation. If everybody regurgitated the same thing, you can fuck with a zombie that way. That's actually another thing called gaslighting. If you get everybody to make that person think they're crazy, it's like through the regurgitation of that, and everybody agree. If you could get like 5 people to fuck with one person and say they're crazy, you would get them to believe it, because people are gullible. They're lemmings. They follow the trend. You could put a smart person in a group with stupid people and start rewarding the stupid people and stuff. Right. Never mind. It's just too complicated for me to even to say now. Like, my brain just shuts down. There's so much to it. That's why I like explaining it. But I get to the point. There's too much to explain. Like, I'll tell you what. I went to the store, and they're fully stocked on guns and ammo. I just like looking, because I'll watch a prepper video, and he just goes nuts how there's no ammo. And then that gets me, that's like, I notice that. So then if I'm at Walmart, and I'm looking in the, I don't like buy guns and ammo. I just don't need it. Unless I needed it, but I don't need it. So, but I noticed it, and I noticed how much they were into it, and I like fucking with them about it. It's like I kept telling my friends that were prank calling people, I said, dude, you gotta call places and ask for 22 long rifle. It is the best way to prank people. And so, like, I do it as a way to prank. It's like, I know it pisses them off, and I just get, that's the only thing that puts a smile on my face, is watching the little zombies miserable in their little fucking zombie lives. And just the whole thing was like a lemming apocalypse, like watching these people, and then like being sucked into it. Like, how easy was it for me to be sucked into it? I just had to watch another lemming be mad about it. And it's like, okay, I went to the store, they're fully stocked on everything now. But if you go, you're like, okay, my local stores are fully stocked. Let's see if the websites are fully stocked. No, they're not. That means people are still lemmings, and they're still buying hordes and hordes and hordes of it. And I'm starting to, like, I seen this. I said, dude, people don't know this. You want to know a secret, like, really fucking quick? One day very soon, all these people that bought a lot of fucking ammo, like, everybody went out and bought a room full of ammo. One day, they're going to realize they don't fucking need it. And they are ready to unload it for the low, low, low price of $1 fucking dollar. And it's like, it ain't today, motherfucker, is it? Because you can look up online, and something that was $400 a couple months ago, they want $1,000 for it now. Still, it's slowly coming down. Well, you know, it might have came down a couple $100. Now they want $700 or $800, you know, for something that's $4. But just a month ago, it was $1,000. Now it's $800, and then, you know, 6 months ago it was $400. So the crisis brought everything up. But there's going to be the huge, giant cliff that they all leap off of, and that's not there yet. It's like the fiscal cliff they're all jumping off of, and they don't realize that when the cliff finally, like, people realize, hey, we're jumping off this cliff, there's going to be a backpedal, like, oh fuck, we don't need this shit, get rid of it. And so the market will flood with all this guns and ammos that people don't want anymore because there's no use for it. And not only that, Obama said that he would drone good old boys. He said, are you a good old boy that has a shotgun and blah blah blah? We'll drone strike you and you will never see it coming. And it's like people are going to mindlessly hand their guns in. Nobody's going to stand up. Like, do you understand that there is not a single person in this planet? Do you know that people are zombies? Anyways, that's besides the point. Everybody's a zombie. If you can understand this, you can go beyond that. You know, like, you can go beyond the mindless masses. Do you know that no one is going to stand up for their freedoms? No one is Alex Jones. And if they do, like more people are into gun rights and guns because of this. Was that a mistake or on purpose? So now they have a bunch of mindless lemming fucks that are really interested in things that explode livers and cut people's heads off. It's like in Afghanistan, they cut your head off. They'll cut your head off, and it's graphic, and it's like, you're like, and so that's meant to be psychological warfare, where you become patriotic and everything, which is good and bad, but it's too much, and it's like, okay, they started a zombie apocalypse, then they gave the zombies guns, and they really want people to die. It's a death cult. It's a society of death. They raised people violently and with violent entertainment, so they would be entertained by violence. Then they gave them a gun and said, here you go, be patriotic. And it's like, also be incapable of defending yourself and your freedom, and be entertained by death. So it's like, you're not being steered in the right direction, you're being steered right off a cliff. And that's what lemmings do. You see, I know a huge secret that definitely makes me crazy, because they don't want you to know that. They practice diseugenics and eugenics. What way do you cleanse society? How do you cleanse society? Through an organized chaos. Order out of chaos. and a reward based system. So you give them a ladder and you reward them for climbing it. Then when they get up to the top rung, you push the ladder over. Except you make sure all the lemming zombies are up there. And so that's why all these lemmings ride a high horse. Because when society cleanses itself, they push the ladders over. That's why they call it the corporate ladder. They think they're getting somewhere climbing this shit. And they're only going to be pushed over once they get to the top. It's called evolution, social Darwinism. You're not really getting any of this, are you? You're actually lobotomized, brain dead, stupid, aren't you? You are, aren't you? You really are, aren't you? You're lobotomized, brain dead, stupid, right? You are? You're right? Yeah, I figured as much. Do you like drool on yourself? Like, I guarantee it, dude. They're gonna push over the ladders that you're on. And your world is gonna crash. My world is already crashed. There's no lower of a low that I could go. So you ride your high horse, and when its legs break and you are crushed underneath that fucking horse, I will only have the biggest fucking smile ever, because I will have seen it coming a mile away. And they'll say, you're crazy. You see things from miles away. You're crazy. I'll say, I must just have really good fucking eyes, and you're blind. You have very near vision. When I see really far away, like eagles and shit, and I see it coming, and I'm like, oh my god, look at that shit coming, and you're like, outside, and I'm like, hoo-hoo, okay, bye dude, you're retarded. Why do you go to work? To climb the corporate ladder. Why do you climb the corporate ladder? So I can push it over and watch your guts squirt out when you fall. And even though I'm telling you this, could you comprehend that this is real? That I'm telling you real shit? And so now that, say you got it, okay, I get it, this makes sense now. Are you gonna not climb the corp? Are you going to climb back down and come back to earth and reality and say, you know what? I like having a sound, down to earth mind with the hopes and the dreams of the clouds in the sky. My head's not in the sky. I'm down to earth, but I have hopes and wishes and dreams of better things. I'm not going to believe in a lie that puts me up in the clouds in a false way. The main prepper said, be mentally prepared for hardship. That's kind of hard to do when you're afraid to be mentally prepared. You fear knowing what could happen. You think it's better to be ignorant and unknowing of what's to come than to be mentally prepared for it. And then what? Are you ignoring me now? Do you have to like look away and hide and say it's not true? And what kind of cognitive dissonance are you really having when you listen to me? How do you feel? Whatever you're feeling, I guarantee you're feeling cognitive dissonance right now. You're feeling it. You're saying, I'm rewarded for this behavior. How could it be bad? I get money, and I like money. And you don't understand operant conditioning. It's like, how can you make sense to a bunch of brain-dead zombies? You can't speak sense to something that's senseless. You can't speak truth to blind people. You think you're a truth seeker? You're a truth ostrich. You bury your head in the sand and hope it goes away, and think you know the truth, but instead you live in denial of that very fucking truth, and think that you're a truther. By being a sheep and a lemming and a herd master, you think you're awake. You couldn't be further awake. You couldn't be further away from the truth. Go and trust the lemming horde of zombies. I think they got your best interest in mind. And I'll tell you something. When they're not bothering me, they're bothering you. And you know what? They ain't been bothering me because they came under an accident. They stalk and they harass me and they bother me, and they had no idea that there was something more powerful than they could ever imagine at work here. I call it karma. They don't believe in it. They actually think karma's their friend because they believe in God, when God was just a trick to turn them into a puppet. So they don't like bothering me because they end up hurting themselves, even though they just censor me. But that still means they're not really doing anything to me. Censorship is basically nothing. It might be censoring my voice, my opinion. You're not allowed to have your own opinion. You can only regurgitate the opinion given to you by others. That's fine. I can deal with being censored for having my own opinion. Can you? You know, I think it would kill a lesser man. That's why you're a bitch. That's why you have to fear intelligence. Because intelligence is like poison immunity to me. The more I know, the more I'm immune to the poison. You, on the other hand, think as long as you're drinking the poison and you don't know it's poisonous, it should be okay. And thank you for enjoying your mind-controlling session. Your brain is now mine. I'm just checking. I just brainwashed you, bitch. Now you're gonna live in a zombie prison planet. What do you think of that? Huh? I'm gonna brainwash you and make you think you live in a zombie prison. And I'm gonna turn you into a Manchurian candidate. You better be afraid. Because I wouldn't want to be a Manchurian candidate either. Especially a really good one, like one that's going to wake people up. Like, you know, Obama's the bad maturing candidate. You don't want to be a good maturing candidate, do you? No, that's really fucking scary, dude. Oh my god, could you imagine if you woke up and wasn't a lemming? Oh my god, it must really suck to not be a lemming. Oh my god.